the reigning Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles. But first and foremost, want to thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time here, please hit the like button, subscribe, ding that notification bell. If you're on YouTube, helps us out a lot. All of the above helps us all out a lot. So on your way in, if you could do that, it's free, takes 5 seconds. Like I said, helps us out. Oh, Paramjot's already in chat. Hello, my brother. How you doing? Well, the injury bug always hits us when things get interesting. Oh, damn. Yeah, bro. I'm going to get right into it. And then Joseph's in the background. He's going to come on, give some insight from legendary Coach John LeGrare. Coach LeGrare. So, yeah, what's up, Paramjot? How you doing? But, yeah, so let's get right into it. First and foremost, everybody on Twitter, was freaking out because Shedeur Sanders didn't get any reps, period. I was freaking out. I was about to crash out. I was on the train, guys. I'm not the fire everybody guy. I've told you that. You know that. I know that. But I was close. I was like, what are we doing? Like, after that preseason game, and he's getting no reps, like, Andrew Berry should be fired. Kevin Stefanski should be fired. Like, I was freaking out. I was this close to crashing out. Didn't send a single tweet or X or whatever they're called now. And turns out that Shedeur Sanders tweaked his oblique. And it was pretty evident. He was throwing. There's some video and film of him throwing early on in the joint practice. You could tell he's very, very, very uncomfortable. He was showing other teammates like, here, yeah, it's right here. It's where it's hurting. So he tweaked his oblique. So now, as of right now, our healthy quarterbacks are Joe Flacco and Tyler Huntley. Like, the injury bug, guys, has been hitting the Browns in the weirdest way. I mean, I guess better early than in the middle of the season. Hopefully, they can all get healthy. Luckily, Shedeur Sanders is day-to-day. I don't think he will participate in the joint practice or the preseason game. It looks like there's a chance that he can participate, but it's a very low chance. But luckily, nothing serious, but he's got to rest. And Joseph will go deeper into that when I bring him up here. Dillon Gabriel still dealing with a hamstring, but he was in on 7-7s and 11-on-11s. We will more than likely see him in the preseason game. So I think that'll be interesting, guys. I mean, we're going to see, Shedeur had a very successful game one. And I think it's going to be really exciting to see Dillon Gabriel. Now, here, I've always been the guy who said, I think Shedeur Sanders is more talented. I think he's the better quarterback. But at the end of the day, we did draft Dillon Gabriel with a third-round pick. We got to see what he has. If one of them's the guy, perfect. I think Shedeur Sanders is the better long-term option, personally. But there are people within the organization, not all, but some, that think that Dillon Gabriel is the better option. There are even some sportscasters and fans that might think that. I think they're in the minority now, but I think there's still some guys that think that. Apologies, my cat's having a conniption. But yeah, guys, Dillon Gabriel has a huge opportunity. He has to show that he can run the offense well as Shedeur did. And he's also got to show that his height will not matter. His biggest question mark has been his height. His decision-making is fine. His arm talent is fine. His processing speed is fine. His height is not. And unfortunately, when you're in the NFL, you need to be tall, man. It is what it is. Like, these are professional athletes. Your guard is 6'3", 6'4". You're surrounded by just giant dudes, and you can't roll out on every pass play. They'll know what you're doing. So he has had moments in training camp where he's looked good. He's had moments in training camp where he's looked pitiful. At the end of the day, he's a rookie. I'm either way, whether it's Shedeur or Dillon, if one of them's the guy, be more than happy to support them. I hope it's Shedeur, but he has a huge opportunity. As far as joint practice, I'll give you a brief little recap. Offense struggled mightily. Joe Flacco had the best outing. Dillon Gabriel threw two touchdown passes in a red zone drill. but he was not good. He was like 6 for 19, 2 touchdowns. Kenny Pickett actually had an okay day, but he only passed it like 9 times, 7 of 9. Tyler Huntley went like 3 of 4. He didn't have a lot of reps. Joe Flacco went for like a touchdown and like 60%, or I'm sorry, 50% completion percentage almost. So the offense struggled. That's the bad news. The good news is against arguably the best offensive line in the league and one of the better offenses in the league when you're going up against, an A.J. Brown, that kind of running game. Our defense looked awesome. Was just shutting down dudes. Carson Schwessinger looks amazing. Mason Graham looks as advertised. And, you can only double team so many guys, man. I mean, Mason Graham one-on-one, that's great because people are going to double team Miles. People aren't going to double team the rookie. And Mason Graham on a one-on-one just looks different. And once Mike Hall gets healthy, this defensive line is going to be really special. Denzel Ward looked great. Greg Newsome held his own, but I think that third corner spot, that slot corner spot, is going to be a problem that the Browns are going to have to figure out a solution for because Cam Mitchell don't look like he's it, guys. He struggled a lot today. So I'm worried about that position. Maybe Nick Needham or Miles Harden or one of these other younger guys can take that job. I hope they can. We shall see. I'm not very hopeful for that. But here, back end, the safeties actually look decent. DeMonte Casey looks like he can hold it down. Ronnie Hickman continues to develop. Grant Delpit's always been good as that strong safety position, but our linebackers are super strong too. So if we can stop the run, force the pass, and we can get to the quarterback, I think that'll show some success. But our secondary is a little bit weaker than it has been in years past. Unfortunately, with that Martin Emerson injury, it leaves us a little light. So that's the brief recap. We can get more into it, but first and foremost, I want to bring in the main man. I'm going to bring in the main man, and that main man, you know him, you love him. It's his channel. You got to. Joseph Latman.
What's happening, the professional fan? What's up?
Hello, my brother. I am great. Got caught in the rain, but my hair looks awesome. I should get caught in the rain more often. But yeah, how are you this fine evening?
Fine. I was on the comments today with some people. Shout out to them. We love the comments.
Love the comments.
all love, always. But anyways, but on a serious note, I think I'm a little concerned right now. I'm as you're sitting there talking, I'm reading a little more on the reports today out of practice, and I injury bug right now is really hitting us in a lot of the key areas, and I'm really concerned about that. And so I have a report I got from Coach LeGrare, as you guys know, world-class trainer, trained Butch Reynolds, trains many professional athletes currently and past, college, you name it, any level, and is very knowledgeable of sports science and all the injuries, deals with this all the time. And so he's been on the show before to talk about certain injuries that have happened with the Browns, and he was right on the money with his hamstring injuries. Turned to the timeline.
Yes, he was.
He knows what he's talking about, and so I asked him about the oblique strain. That's what Shedeur has, and it says he wrote me. He said the oblique is a rest injury, little rehab, depends on the severity. Rest will be hard. He wants to throw something, and so what he's saying is it's going to be hard for him to rest because he's want to go out there and throw the ball and get reps still and practice and still play. And, some of those throws, depending on where he's throwing the ball, like we saw last week, you might have to throw it really hard. So you're going to have to turn into your obliques on your right side. So I believe it's on his right side. I was throwing. So when he turns and turns in his throwing motion, it's going to affect that. So he really needs rest, but he can't rest a whole lot because this is a big crucial point of it's just like rest was important for Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel, but they don't really have time to mess around like Coach said. And they were still practicing, Mike, even not doing full drills like they were before the injuries, but they were still out there practicing last week, doing slight things the last Kenny Pickett's been slowly trying to keep going the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think his hamstring seems to be a little more serious than Dillon Gabriel's because I don't think Kenny's playing at all still this week. But Dillon Gabriel made a comment today, though, Mike, to the media about they asked about the hamstring. And well, first, and they says so. This is from Zach Jackson. Shout out to him. He said Gabriel asked if his hamstring is 100%. Quote: "We'll know here soon." And then he was asked another question. He said, "Dillon said I have no clue what's going to happen. I'm just right where my feet are." So when I hear "we'll know here soon," he's obviously not going to be 100%. But I just worry for his own sake going out there. And you got to be really careful with those hamstrings. And he's a mobile guy. He uses his legs a lot. That's one of his strengths. To extend plays in college. And I'm a little worried about that. I mean, I'm sure they know a little more than we do because they're there. But again, I just hope he doesn't go out there Saturday and risk something bigger. I hope he goes out there. I hope he doesn't overexert himself. I hope he is 100% can play because I'm excited to see him play. I mean, like like the thumbnail says, last week was Shedeur's opportunity, mainly, a lot of it he started because Dillon and Kenny were out, so he had, and Flacco's not playing, he's old, so you don't need to. So Shedeur basically started last week by default and went out there, took the advantage of the opportunity, and played well. Same thing for Dillon this week. The roles are reversed. This week Shedeur's hurt and he's out, and now Dillon's going out there. Now it's his opportunity. So I think if you're the Browns in terms of evaluating the quarterbacks, the two rookies, I mean, this is kind of, you don't want it because of circumstances due to injury, obviously, ever. But I think it's kind of, they get the best opportunity to look at both. I mean, you saw Shedeur last week. You saw what he did for most of a game. And Dillon Gabriel is most likely, he is going to start Saturday. And he's probably going to play the same amount of reps as Shedeur, Mike. So I think we're going to see it. We're going to see who looks better. I mean, we saw Shedeur last week. Now we'll see how Dillon looks this week. It's just, I hope, I'm just curious how much of that hamstring could affect his play, if any. Because like I said, when I hear him say those comments, I raise an eyebrow. Like I'm kind of like, okay, well, I mean, I know you're not going to be 100%, but I don't want to see this guy go out there and, overexert it or do something, put himself in a bad spot. So, which you got to trust. We'll see. I think he'll be all right, but it's an exciting opportunity for him because he gets his opportunity. He got to watch the other guy get last week, and
absolutely.
I'm going to be curious to watch how he is. Three things I'll be looking at is you mentioned, is he to run the operation like Shedeur? I thought Shedeur overall the operation was pretty clean. I was impressed by that. Is he seeing the field well? I thought Shedeur was seeing some of those windows. You watch my QB breakdown. I thought Shedeur was seeing a lot of the windows pretty well. His eyes were where they need to be most of the time. So that was a positive. And the third thing I was impressed with Shedeur was he stood in the pocket on a lot of throws. He looked very comfortable in the pocket, which I think is very key in the NFL, not just in any system, but in the NFL. But I think especially in the fancy system, more of the play action, you got to be able to sit in that pocket and deliver the ball down the field. And so I think, and now play not only in the pocket, but you have to be able to go under center, turn your head, and locate coverage. And so that's going to be the three things I'm looking forward with him. How does he do in those three areas? Just those are the three things I'm looking forward when I was looking forward to Shedeur's game last week. And also the teammates. I mentioned that last week with Shedeur. I'm going to be fair with Dillon. How do his teammates respond to him? Just like they responded to Shedeur. Is there different energy there? You know what I mean? I don't think there will be. I think they'll be just excited if he goes out there and plays well. So, but that's something I'll be watching. We'll be evaluated everything. But it's a great opportunity. And, I know he threw a touchdown pass to Gage LaRavian today. So, LaRavia, I think it is.
LaVarden.
Yeah. LaVarden. Excuse me. Gage LaVarden. It's hard. That threw me off. Gage LaVarden. And that threw us both off.
Yeah.
You got it down. Okay. Gage LaVarden. Thanks for correcting me. So now I have it right. He continues to impress. I know he caught up a touchdown pass on a crossing route and from Dillon Gabriel. So I want to see the connection with him and Dillon. Who's Dillon's guy? Like, with Gage and Luke, those are really Shedeur's guys. Now Luke's out, so now they did waive him from the injury reserve list. So I don't know if he may come back to the practice squad in the middle of the season. So it sounds like he's out for the rest of the preseason, which sucks because I thought he was playing really well. So
he really was.
I don't know how they'll fill that position. They might have to get another receiver in here. Just, I don't know, maybe get another look at somebody. I don't know. But that's something I'm going to be looking forward to. And so, again, and then with Shedeur, like I said, I think he needs the rest this weekend. I think once they get back to Berea on Obviously, they'll fly back Saturday, but I think once they get back in the building, probably Sunday and Monday, I think that's when we'll know a little more of where he's at and if we will be available to practice full go next week and get those reps. Because, like you said, I saw a lot. I got a text today from people who were saying he didn't get any first team reps, and at first, or any reps at all, any team reps.
Oh, I was crashing out, dude.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, well, what do you mean he didn't get any team reps? That's odd. So then I didn't say anything, and then once I saw the injury report, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's why. Yeah, it makes sense.
So,
I did not send a tweet. I was close.
yeah, it's not. There you go. That's what you're doing. You got to be patient. Sometimes you got to let it play out.
There's always more information.
There's always more to the story. Yeah, there's always more to the story. You got to wait till the coach talks and everything else. And but yeah, man. So again, we're gonna get evaluation of both. And if Dillon goes out there and plays well, like Shedeur did, then we really got a conundrum.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: if he goes out there and plays just as well, maybe a little better, let's say he plays just as well as Shedeur did last week, right? What do the Browns do going forward?
I mean, I think that's the worst case scenario for Shedeur, if I'm being honest, because the Browns have a higher, more invested, I guess you could say, in Dillon Gabriel than they do Shedeur.
But Shedeur's also generated $250 million of revenue.
But so there's that. So if they're just as good, like if I'm Jimmy Haslam, I'm pushing for Shedeur because like, hey, money talks, and that's just as good.
And that's why we pointed out in the show, there's a lot of different voices in that building that we pointed out, and that's where I think you could have you could have some problems. I mean, maybe not a problem, but some people may be disappointed in that building. With they want it one way. So I don't know. Like you said, the best way for this to really settle out, I guess, would be is I wouldn't, panic. If Dillon goes out and plays well, great. That means you got a guy that went out and played well again in the preseason. 2 guys you drafted played well. Yeah. So then I'll leave it. It all comes down to that last game and probably that last week of practice,
which Shedeur will see a lot of. I don't doubt.
Yeah, and so. But, I don't know if you really have to, and when I say it, I'm not saying you have to choose between the two because you and I said all along, I think Kenny Pickett's still going to be the odd man out.
No, he is. Sure think he is.
Kenny, unfortunately, due to injury, he hasn't had the opportunity, but he also, you have more invested in the other 2 guys. So, you only traded DTR for Kenny, but you drafted Shedeur Sanders. So I think, he's probably the odd man out still, like you and I said all along. And I think Joe Flacco will start the season, which that's already pretty known. And then I think the battle will still continue probably all the way up until week 4 or 5. That's when I think we'll know who's going to have the edge on who. But remember all the reports after that game still, I mean, they still have Dillon ahead of him on the depth chart. And I saw a report yesterday, or was it from Mary Kay Cabot, or maybe not Mary? I got it right here. Give me 1 second. This was from today. This was from Albert Breer, excuse me. This is from Albert Breer, very plugged in. And he said on 92.3 The Fan today, on the Browns QB depth chart, he said, quote, at this point, they would feel more comfortable putting Dillon Gabriel at a regular season game than they would with Shedeur Sanders. And that's what he said today. And again, when Albert put that report out last week, we all told you that's not Albert's opinion. That's his report. That's what he's hearing. Albert gets pretty good information. And so whether we agree with it or not, or whether you agree with it or not, the viewer, that's what the Browns think. Now, when I hear that, and I know when Mike hears, even the cat even is like, what the hell? Yeah, I know. But when Mike, I think when Mike and I hear that, and like a lot of people, well, as well as Shedeur looked last week, I thought he looked pretty good. I expect Dillon to be the same this week. I keep hearing high level processor, right? I keep from the neck up. He's a first round pick. These are all the things we heard. Dale Ryder said how they're trying to jam him down our throat like he's a first round pick. So I expect him to go out there and be just as good, if not better, this week.
And if he's not, he deserves to fall down the depth chart, in my opinion.
But to be fair to Dillon, I'm worried about that hamstring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, how do I balance this out? Like, how hurt is he? Is he playing hurt on a hamstring? Because that's not good. How does that affect him? He likes to use his legs. So I don't know. This is I don't know if I've ever seen a situation as tough to evaluate than this. This
I
is,
agree.
or just to get it. I mean, this is bizarre. And they created it, so Browns doing Browns things. It's chaotic.
Yeah, at least we got Mason Graham and Carson Schwestinger, and they both
Yeah,
look
now those
awesome.
two. If you didn't check out the defensive breakdown this morning, I put that up.
Go
Those
check it out.
two. I don't know if you watched it yet, Mike, but those two, my gosh, beginning of that game together on plays. Jeez.
Mason was getting double teamed every down, and he was still not moving. Like they weren't pushing him back; he was fighting through it. I was like, we finally got one. It was like that
I know.
Ghostbuster scene.
Yeah.
We got one.
We got one. He is a gem. Looks like a first rounder without a doubt. Mason I thought looked pretty well. The guy that I'll be looking forward to watching, I highlighted him on the defensive film breakdown. He's my biggest sleeper right now. Just the most guy I'm most interested in is this UDFA D lineman number 66, Aiden Huntington.
Tulane prospect, right?
Yeah, Aiden Huntington. This guy from Tulane. Before that, he was at UL Monroe. Then before that, he was at Kent State for 2 years. So he went to three different colleges. Yeah. So some people in the watching may know him from Kent State. I know people that watch Kent State, so they may know about him. But this guy's a freak. Ran a 4.6 40 at the pro day. Benches like, I think, he benched 450. Squats like 600 plus pounds. Ran a 4.44 shuttle, pro agility shuttle, whatever it is, and the at the at the UL Monroe testing 2 years ago. And so this guy, they had him on kickoff, Mike, and he hauled ass all the way down the field and leveled the guy. I mean, hit him pretty good. Got a good, hit him pretty well and hauled ass down the field on kickoff. He's the only big guy out there on kickoff. And so as soon as I watched the tape, I'm like, who the hell is this guy on kickoff? I mean, he's huge. Number 60. I'm like, is this an offensive lineman, a D lineman? We're number 66. And then I watched his play. He was getting off the ball fast. I mean, he was getting in the backfield, applying pressure consistently. I mean, he's still got some things to work on, but which I'm sure that'll come along. But man, this guy's impressive. You want to talk about a raw prospect who could become a gem? It's this guy. He's the biggest sleeper right now. I'll be looking forward to watching him.
I agree. Yeah, no, he looks awesome. I can't wait to see him in game 2. Only a couple days away from it too.
Yeah, I agree. Let me. One other thing I'm looking forward to this week is I want to see Harold Fanning get a little more involved.
Yeah. We haven't really seen him, a lot of him, because he's been with the first team a lot. But I want to see more out of him. He's a rookie, have him play more downs.
Yeah, I want to see him get some more targets.
Let me see how he does.
Or at least, let's put him in that screen. Remember the
tight end screens, yeah,
tight end screen rolling the Joku a lot. Yeah, let's run that more. Let's get him a couple situations. Like I just want to see more with a little bit more of what he can do.
Yeah,
I want to see him more run blocking. How does he do there? Like, I just want to see him a little more. I think that's good for him too. Need the reps. The reps get you better. So, I want to see more of that, and I want to see a little more. Dillon Sampson. He didn't get really a whole lot going last week. I want to see him get a little more touches.
Yeah, he only played like 3 downs. Like he only played 3 series. He's a 4th round pick. I know he's going to have a lot of
you're going to need
playing time because of the Quinshon situation, but I don't think that's an excuse for the Browns to not play these cats more. Get them more ready for the season. That's always been my biggest gripe with Kevin Stefanski's regime is he doesn't get them ready enough for the game 1, game 2, what have you. Now, to his credit, this training camp has been the most physical training camp that he's ever ran in his tenure. But
and Kevin also said that he's using the joint practices more for those opportunities, which I get, but
it's different when there's a crowd there, though.
As a former player, even if you play at the high school level, your first game as a high schooler, there's something different about going out there in front of a packed house and looking up, and you look around, and there's lights. You know what I mean? There's people in the crowd. Like I remember my first game and when I was in middle school, we had some big games. When we were compete for the national, and you look in that crowd, the whole town's showing up. All right. I mean, it's a little different feeling. Like even when you're a kid, you look around, there's more eyes there. There's a whole human element to it. And so I think you got to get out there in the game. And I think it's good for these guys as mental. You know what I mean? You don't want to just sit and go through because I'm gonna be honest with you, Mike, and these guys are at the point of practice right now. Like I'm talking to some coaches that coach high school around here, and they're towards the end of their camp, right? The first game's next week. by last week, by these guys are in the scrimmages, Mike, the effort, the coaches are complaining about effort and stuff because these guys are about 2 weeks into their camp, Mike, and they're once you get to that point, they're like, okay, we're done. Like we're like,
Yeah, right.
it's the same thing every day. It's the same practice. It's hot as hell. You know what I mean? It's the same shit. It's like you're just ready to get to the game. Like you're just, players get kind of over it. Yeah, you're physically, you're tired. Guys are getting banged up. You know what I mean? That's the grind, doggy days of camp. What it is. And so I think it's good for these guys to get out there in the game setting because that's like the reward. You know what I mean? You get out there, you feel like it's a reward. You get out just to get out there and get under those lights, get under the fans, get that feeling in an NFL game. I think you got to have that experience. So I want to see those guys get a little more reps. I think they will this week. I think last week was kind of more of just maybe Shedeur because he had more reps with the other guys. Maybe that's why they went about it that way. Maybe just trying to get, make it easier on the quarterback in terms of just, comfort and chemistry, just see what he can do. I don't know. But I want to see him more because Dillon, I think, has had more reps with these two guys, especially with Harold and Dillon because he's had more first-team reps than Shedeur. So maybe they'll play more this week. I don't know. But
right.
I think I want to see those two featured more.
Yeah, I agree. I need to see more Harold. I need to see more Dillon. Just all the rookies, really. Like, I get it. Like, they're going to be playing some significant snaps, but it's different when there's a crowd there, especially Dylan Sampson, man. Like, get that cat ready because he wasn't going to have, like, a huge role this year. He was going to kind of grow into it for next, and now he's being pushed into that role. So, like, you really got to get him ready.
Do you think they move him over to kickoff?
Huh?
Do you think they move him over to special teams now with Flory out?
No, that's going to be Gage. Gage is going to take
Gage.
that. I think Gage will probably take punt returner. He might be even the long-term punt returner because he looked great.
I just wonder because remember Jerome's rookie year, they put Jerome at kickoff return running back.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he still does that. Honestly,
I don't know if they put. Well, I don't think he'll be back there this year because he's starting. I don't. Did they put Dillon there because Dillon's quick?
I think Gage Lavardane is going to be the guy.
That's exciting though. I like that kid's electric, man. Getting the ball in his hand.
He's fun.
Yeah, I think I want to see him again this week, stacking weeks. I think he'll be interesting. I want. Hopefully, the secondary plays a little better this week. That's my biggest concern team wise right now is that secondary.
Yeah.
I know we all know about the quarterback play. It is what it is. But in terms of just like a glaring unit hole, like and outside of quarterback, because we don't know what's going on there. But besides Flacco, we know that. But after that, we don't really know. But the secondary, though, that's my big concern right now because I
agree.
Denzel, love Denzel, 330 guy, my guy. I mean, love Denzel, root for him his whole career. And Greg Newsom's been pretty solid since he's been here. But those guys haven't been healthy all the time. So knock on wood, they don't. But Martin Emerson's already out for the year. You're 1 or 2 injuries away now, and we're dependent on Cam Mitchell, Miles Harden, Ronnie Hickman,
Nick Needham.
The guy who got ejected last week, the veteran,
Rashawn Jenkins.
And I'm sure Kevin wasn't happy about that.
No, he was pissed.
Tony Brown the second.
I like Tony Brown.
I like Tony Brown actually. I actually highlighted him I thought he was a little more physical than the other guys. I thought he looked like a veteran out there. He's a 7-year guy. They just gotta be a little better this week, a little more consistent. You gotta can we get some hands on the guys coming out of there and jamming them off the line of scrimmage? Like, man, can we just not let guys run scotch-free like last week?
Yeah.
Can we communicate better? Especially on the crossing route in the red zone where the guy broke open and then they Bryce Young scrambled out right and hit him in the back of the end zone. Like, we need just little basic fundamental things that got to be better at, And when you're saying today, you're hearing Cam Mitchell didn't look good today in the joint.
Not at all.
They need to figure that out fast because we can't have that.
Yeah,
I mean, at this point, I know you drafted the kid, but at this point, if Tony Brown, whoever's playing better, get them up there. We don't got time to mess around.
Exactly.
We're already down our other starter.
Yeah, and it sucks.
Yeah. So even the Casey guy, I thought he could play a little better.
Casey's look good. Casey's look good. He's an NFL vet. Played with.
I didn't think he looked okay last week in the game. I thought he didn't do well in that red zone touchdown play. I think just the whole unit needs to be better than they were last week.
Yeah.
So, and I expect guys like him and obviously the other guy not getting thrown out. So, you need the veteran to step up. But that's my other thing I'll be watching. Can you at least just be a little better than you were last week?
Hell yeah.
And shout out to Winston Reed. I'm liking him a lot.
Yeah, Winston Reed's our linebacker room is awesome. I
The
love our
linebacker
linebackers.
unit, I think, is the strongest unit right now.
It might be one of the strongest in the NFL, honestly. Like sleeper wise. Like people always talk to the Ravens, but it's like, here, man, the Browns at linebacker room is underrated.
I would say just that front seven looks really strong right now. I like that
really
front
does.
seven a lot. I like. I mean, especially you're gonna have Shelby Harris, you're gonna have Malik Collins, you're gonna have Mike Hall, Mason Graham, maybe the other two guys I pointed out, like Aiden Huntington. Maybe he makes the team. I like him.
Yeah.
Alex Wright looks great. Isaiah McGuire made some plays. I mean, you got Myles Garrett, obviously the best player in football, or one of best pass rusher in football. That linebacker room though looks pretty good. I if Carson comes off the field, I'm confident in Winston Reed for what I've seen. So then I thought Jerome played pretty well last week. I think Devin Bush, I thought overall was decent. I think he's gonna be a little better in coverage, but that room's not bad. Not that bad. Yeah. Front seven looks good.
Hell yeah.
But well, and shout out to everybody who's tuned in, the professional fans.
Shout out.
We hit our goal over 500, so thank you to you guys.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody.
And Joseph and I just want to come on, give a brief rundown. There'll be more reports as the days go on before the preseason game. That they haven't allowed filming.
Sorry, this guy. Riley, you crazy boy.
They haven't allowed a lot of filming in these joint practices like they had in previous years. So hopefully more reports come out and we can give you a better rundown other than like sweeping generalities. But that's all we got right now. So that's all you're getting.
We'll see you guys Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday's going to be a big day. Watch for I imagine we'll be doing a post game later in the day.
Likely. Yeah.
Breaking down
Dillon Gabriel post game reaction.
Dillon Gabriel, Tyler Huntley show. But thank you guys so much for watching. Joseph, you want to tell them why they got to like and subscribe?
You guys got to like, subscribe, and share because look at Mike's cat in the background. He's just look at his face. Kara. He's like, you better subscribe for him. You got to subscribe for the pets. Yeah, the pets need food. They got to have
food. Look at her.
They need cat food.
She's wasting away.
Yeah, she needs the food. So get her some food and subscribe. We got super chats now. If you guys want to super chat in, that's much appreciated. But no, on all seriousness, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps us out a lot. No subscription goes unnoticed.
None.
This has been a long journey for us. When we first started this, Mike and I were in a lot of different places in our own personal lives. And so, I think once we've grown in our personal lives and, as time went on and life happens, now we're putting more time and effort into this. So this is our year. Been our year, so we're already up to a good start. We're going to keep growing. We're excited about this upcoming season. Last year was kind of a sneak peek of what you guys would see. Now this year we're going to build off of that and continue moving forward. So all your support matters, and we love talking to you guys. And it's simple. All you got to do is tap the subscribe button. It's free. Hit the like button and give your feedback as well. What are you looking forward to this week in the game? What do you think Dillon Gabriel will do? We'd love to hear your feedback. So, that's all I got. Take it away, Mike.
Folks, I love you all very much. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for everybody who's helped us get to over 500 subscribers. Now the next milestone's 1,000. And once we hit that, we will be live streaming me getting a tattoo. So if you want to enjoy my pain and suffering for a number of hours, please like, subscribe, and share. Goes a long way, helps us. It's going to be a Browns, Colorado themed tattoo. It's going to be on my body forever, and it should be a good time for you guys. Should be a good laugh. So, folks, I love y'all very, 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 very much. And as always, please, for the love of God, stay professional. Later.